It's only a few days until I have to head to Europe, and I haven't even started packing my art kit. Everything's in chaos on my art desk, and I have to work out what I'm taking with me and what's staying at home. Added to that, I don't want to carry too much. I can't really, like, my body can't cope with carrying a huge bag. So I've got a tiny, like, 40-litre case, and I've got to put clothes and everything else in that as well as art materials. But yeah, I'm going to the Urban Sketchers Symposium while I'm there, and there's a bunch of materials I need for that, as well as what I need for my everyday sketching for the rest of my travels. Yikes. Yikes. Yep, the panic is setting in all right. Time has come to try and make some order out of this chaos here, and yeah, actually get things packed and ready to go. I've only got a few days before I leave, so it's, yeah, getting very anxious. And when you're watching this, I'll actually be gone. Yeah, so I've got these two blocks. One's an acrylic block and one's a watercolor block. I wanted to try them both out. I got them from Jackson's Art. I thought that'd be great for traveling because they got the gum down sides. You don't have to worry about my paper warping or anything, or blowing away. Don't have to worry about the wind. I wanted to test both of these to see which was best for using with acrylic gouache, whether it would be best to use the watercolor block or the acrylic block. So I did a sketch in each of them. These aren't finished. This one's probably finished, yeah. This one, I started it and I haven't gone back to do much with it. But yeah, I couldn't really come to any conclusion about which was the best to work with because they're both quite good. They both handle the paint well. I found the watercolor one handled light washes better than handling like the quite thick paint, but yeah, they both were nice to work with. And I thought it might be good to take both of these because then if I want to do more than one sketch, more than one painting, I can use one, leave that to dry, work on a second sketch in this one, and then go back and do the pencil detail and all the other details. So I'll see how that works. So I probably, yeah, they're not that light, and I'm not sure if I'd want to take them both out in my bag. At the moment, I'm thinking to take both, but once I start packing my bag, it might end up just one of them not making the cut. So that's, yeah, for the acrylic gouache. I've decided to really, because I have to take gouache for one of the workshops I'm doing at the Urban Sketchers Symposium, I've decided to really lean into that and use the acrylic gouache on location. If you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I had a lot of issues when I was using acrylic gouache outdoors. Oh, all sorts of things happened. But I'm going to try again. And hopefully, at least being in Copenhagen, there might not be like dangerous birds attacking me and things like that. So yeah, that's for the acrylic gouache. I'm starting with sketchbooks in case you hadn't realised. These, I've got the smaller ones. I might only take one of these. What I wanted to use these for is just to do some still life drawing. Like, you know, when you go to the supermarket when you're traveling. If you're like me, you love going to the supermarket and checking out all the different foods and especially all the different snacks. Snacks are wonderful. So yeah, I thought I might just do some still life drawings of the different snacks that I buy and the packaging and all that kind of thing. It'd be really fun to do. But I thought, yeah, having a separate little sketchbook to put that in would be good. And yeah, that's so lightweight, small, lightweight, easy to carry. Then I've got these guys. These only have 16 sheets in them. These little square sketchbooks. They're quite nice to use. They're not that heavy paper. Good for pencil and just about anything. Probably not a really, really watery wash, but you can use acrylic gouache, regular gouache, maybe a little bit of watercolor. But yeah, it's really good with these because even though that's a pile of sketchbooks to put in my bag, in my suitcase, when I'm going out for the day, I just need this little, like one little sketchbook. It's pretty lightweight and it's not going to be that stressful for me to carry around. Then next up, tear off palette. Now one of the things I need to do before I leave, before I start packing, is to cut that and make it a bit smaller. I don't like the big size of this. And as soon as I find my sister Stanley knife, I will cut that up. So now onto the acrylic gouache that I'm taking. I had this idea. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. I hope it's a good idea. I don't like having these brushes in here. I'm just all over the place. Sorry. Yeah, so I've got this little pouch. This is just, I got a packet of Ziploc bags from Amazon. And this one fit the acrylic gouache in. But yeah, I don't like having my brushes in a bag where the bristles are being sort of squashed. So I might do something else with the brushes. I've got these guys so that if I'm using a lot of paint and I want to keep it, I can just put it in here and store it in a watertight little container. But then I had an idea. The paint lasts for a really long time in these. And so I think what I can do is, my main colours that I'm taking that were on the list for the workshops were the turquoise blue, yellow, magenta, and then black and white. So I've got those in tubes. Then other colours I want to take to put them in these little guys, and I'll be able to take more colours with me without adding much weight at all. So that should be a really, really good way of doing it. Okay guys, I thought I'd actually been filming that in fast motion, but for some reason my camera didn't record it. These are the completed pots. The biggest problem I had with this was once I filled all 6 little pots, and then I went to put the lid on, but I couldn't sort of, because they were all full of paint, couldn't move it. I had to hold it flat like this and push them down like this. I probably could have, in retrospect, could have filled one pot, put the lid on, filled the next pot, put the lid on. Like that, instead of doing it like that. I'm going to keep this one empty because I just want this one, yeah, to put my paints in if I've got too much on my palette or I mix a colour and I want to keep it. I think those 6 colours should be enough. I'm just really hoping they don't leak. Might actually put some plastic around them later and make sure they're secure. But yes, I've got those 5 tubes. Then another 6 colours in the pot. And that's my acrylic gouache kit. It's a pretty small kit, but I also need to take the tear off palette with it. I wonder if I could cut that so it fit in here. That might work really well. Even just cutting off this little bit. And what else did I need with that? There was something. Oh, yeah, the brushes. I will put them back in here, but yeah, as I said, I don't like it. That one fits in well. This one, not so well. I've got just, yeah, a few brushes. I thought I'd take the fan brush just to play around and experiment with that. I've never used it. I've got one I use for watercolor, but I've never used it for gouache. And then a 10 and an 8 round. This is one kit. One little kit done. Now the next little bag, again, this is one of those Ziploc bags. they're really good for packing stuff in. I'll link them down in the description. They're just from Amazon, and yeah, you get a 24 pack of different sizes. This is the big one. The one I had for the gouache was the next size down, and then there's a small one that's good for putting snacks and that in. So yeah, this is mainly markers and things of that ilk, and I thought I might just do some swatching of these. So this is a pit pen in Pale Geranium Lake. These are kind of all over the place. Like I haven't got them organized inside the bag. Another pit pen. This is the Fabralo brush from Caran. And there are all the little pens like that I've got. Yeah, I'm having an avalanche of stuff here. Next up, got a whole bunch of marker pens. And this one here. I didn't have a blue and I was going to go and buy one, but then my sister had one in her art kit. So I'm using hers. But I might end up buying my own because it looks really nice, that blue. So yeah, there's the red. That's quite a dark red. Blue. It's quite a dark blue. Sanguine. That's not as juicy, but still quite juicy. This one is green gold. And these are great just for, yeah, laying down big blocks of colour. I like these better than the Ecolines because they seem to stay juicy for a lot longer. Like with the Ecolines, I know you can refill them, but these, yeah, just stay nice and juicy. I don't usually use water with these, but I'm just adding the water to show how it looks. So yeah, they're the colours that I'm taking with me in these. These are the Faber-Castell Albert Dürer watercolor markers. I don't think I said that at the beginning. So, nice little set of colours. I'm also taking this. I wasn't going to take watercolours, but then I thought, oh yeah, I've got this tiny little set. I may as well chuck it in my kit. Doesn't get much tinier than this. Then I've got, these are just fun to take along. I've only taken a few of these because I don't use them that much, but yeah, look at that. Poster paint stick, and these I think are not water soluble, but yeah, they're like a gouache stick. And then I've got, luckily with these sets I've already curated them for previous trips, so I've just got them in my bag as they are. This is my little kit of neocolor 2s. Some of these I might need to think about replacing. And I'm not going to go through and test all of these because I've used them for other trips. I know how they work. I know what colours I've got, but I'm just putting a few of them down there. And again with these, I very rarely use them with water. I would just use them as they are. But I don't like using the neocolor ones which aren't water soluble because they're a bit harder and you have to press a lot more. Takes a lot more work to use them. So yeah, that's little kit number 1. Next little curated kit is these oil pastels in this little tin. I don't like using, well, I don't use oil pastels a lot, but I do like using them sometimes just to add texture. They are a really great texture adding tool, and they're really good for getting that sort of chalky look of old buildings, like using them as a resist so you can yeah, put the colour down. And then just put it a light layer. I could actually do with a bigger white in these. Yeah, something like that. And then doing the paint over the top. I always go to do this over neocolors, and it obviously doesn't work on neocolors because they're water soluble. But yeah, on the wax crayons, you get that wonderful texture. Another thing I like using the oil, did I say wax? The oil pastels for is for night scenes, like getting light and things like that. And last but not least in this kit, these guys. I got these at the beginning of the year for Christmas. If you've seen my Christmas haul video, if you've seen that, then yeah, I go through and do a big swatch session with these. I just love the little tin they come in and how it works. Usually I like using quite bright colours when I'm sketching, but I do like the muted colours and how they go with each other in the drawing pencils. Great for doing like sort of old European town scenes. And I love this blue. And yeah, it's got the little pencil sharpener in there, so I don't have to worry about forgetting my pencil sharpener if I use this little kit. Okay, now this is the last part of my kit. It's my everyday. I always take this pencil case out with me. And I just threw that across the floor. I'll pick it up later. Yeah, so watercolor brushes. Now, I just want to swatch these because I feel like there's some colours I can take out. So let's start with the yellows. That's a nice bright yellow, but it doesn't really stand out. And I don't think it layers well, so I'll pop that out. I've also got this yellow. But I have a lot of trouble with yellow pencils and trying to get something that actually is bright and will layer. And it doesn't happen often. It's very hard to find. But I have this, which is, what do you call it? Like one of those pencils that write on glass. I never know what they're called. And that's good at layers. I'll just... It's not actually that bright over it, but it works a lot better than something like, say, this. Then, sap green. I love the dark sap green. So that's everything. I've managed to get a lot of duplicates out of this pencil case. I've got it looking quite thin. Yeah. And it's good because if I wanted to use stuff out of this other kit, like the neocolors or anything, I've got enough room in here to just pop them in for the day. Like, you know, I'm going out sketching today. I wanted to use neocolors. Just put them in here as well. And one of the things that I find the most convenient about this is that I can use it as a camera stand for when I'm filming. That's always handy. Yeah, I like this pencil case. Yeah, I can also put any of the markers or anything like that when I'm taking my kit out for the day. So, very practical. And apart from that, yeah, I'm going to take this so I can put my little sketchbooks on it and have a solid base for sketching. And I'll probably put all of this stuff inside a tote bag or something in my case so that it's all in one contained thing. So thanks for joining me this week. Because I'm going to be away for the Urban Sketchers Symposium and the rest of my touring around Europe, I won't be updating again until I get home. So that'll be a few weeks, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks without an update. But I'll have lots of fun content when I get back. Lots of stuff about the symposium, about my other sketching adventures, maybe doing some shopping, art material shopping, and whatever else comes up. I hope this isn't too loud. I've got the dishwasher on right next to me and Luigi's been going a bit crazy, but I thought I'd just show you a few things that I've added to my kit while I've been thinking about it. I'm about to pack it right now, like in about 5 seconds time. For my watercolor pens, these guys, I put them in this like up and down pencil case because I thought just being in the bag like this, loose in the bag like that, made them a bit hard to find, a bit not good to work with. So yeah, just got that little guy happening. And I also put in this sponge and the little corner of the palette is just I'll put my hand there so you can see how tiny it is. Tiny mini palette, but I think that should work okay. And with the sketchbooks, ooh, I need to move this. I ended up just thinking I'll take let's try this, the acrylic sketchbook. One's enough, I think, because they're so chunky and heavy. But everything else here, I've just got it laid out here to take my thumbnail, and I'm about to put it all back in my bag and then in my suitcase, ready to jet off. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye!